Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this 23rd day of March. I know we have a game going on now. Looks like Michigan State. And Michigan State's back up now. Yeah, they're up 54-52 over Kansas State. It's been back and forth. I thought Michigan State would win this game. Could go either way. March Madness continues tonight. Lamar Jackson, I mean, come on, man. Just get an agent already. There's a report out of Baltimore, or the league has put out a memo that the NFL, to minimal to all clubs to not negotiate with anyone who is not certified on the behalf of the NFL as an actual agent. Lamar tweets out, "Quit lying." Pro Football Talk says that things are over with between Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Also tonight, I'm particularly going to talk about the Indianapolis Colts. I've got a guest coming up here in about a few minutes, about 20 minutes here. Kareem Blackston, he will be here talking the Tennessee Titans with me. As you can see, over the past few days, I have been talking about the AFC South and the division yesterday. Went over what Houston's actually having a really good off season. Looks like they're in line to get their quarterback. Who knows who that quarterback's going to be at the 2 pick. But first, let's take our only break here, 50 seconds, and we will hit the ground running here on Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then, I'm back here live on all links here. So anyways, just a quick take. Starting going back to Lamar Jackson, he has hired a friend supposedly to talk to him on regards of to contact other teams. The NFL does not allow that, not unless you're certified as an agent with the league. The league has put a memo out. Apparently, somebody has reported this to the league, I would say. And so Jackson's saying, denying it basically. And again, Pro Football Talk has put out that the fact that that Lamar's done with the Ravens. So I've been talking about the AFC South before I went to that break. Now the Colts with that 4 pick, you would think that would be really attractive to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, mind you, Matt Castle was the only player that was moved that signed this non-exclusive contract, but he wasn't signed under that non-exclusive type of contract franchise deal. The non-exclusive franchise tag means if another team outbids the team that puts that tag on that player, in this case, the Ravens will get 2 first-round picks, whether it's one this year or one next year. So, but they can take it off and do a traditional trade and probably get more. So if they take it off, and maybe the Colts, that 4 pick would look good to the Ravens, because then the Ravens can turn around and get a quarterback. The Ravens have a defense. They've got an offensive line. They got a defensive line. They've got coaching. They got everything they need, if you ask me. Okay. And maybe if they get an Anthony Richardson at 4, I don't know. But the Colts could be a real player in this thing. Now, because they are picking fourth, and maybe the quarterback like a Will Levis or somebody has not become available. Okay. So it's an interesting situation. I kind of feel sorry for Lamar Jackson. It feels like he's out there trying to do everything on his own. He's being a little hard-headed. Being hard-headed is why he is in the position that he's in. If he just listened to what people told him, he would have been a receiver. He wouldn't have been a quarterback. He wouldn't have got. He wouldn't be in the kind of position that he's in. So I do admire him for that, beating the odds. Remember, he was drafted. The Ravens drafted Hayden Hurst over him in the first round, traded back in the first round, and got Lamar Jackson. Him and Josh Allen were the two best quarterbacks in this draft. Well, Allen obviously was the best, but the guys like Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield were both bust, pretty much. They were also drafted in the same draft. So I do. Hard-headed can get you stupid real fast. Yes. Yeah, it can with this whole agent situation. I mean, it's 3%. I listened to somebody on Fox Sports and reaffirmed that, said that it's 3%. Guys, I used to be an agent. I've sold houses as a homeowner, and I used to be an agent. Real estate agents charge more than that. They charge 6 to 7%. Real estate agents for residential real estate, 3% for the buyer's agent, 3% for the seller's agent. And it saved me a lot of hassle. I've tried to do it on my own. So 3%, yeah, well, if it's a major deal, yeah, 3% of a major deal can be in the millions. I get it. Maybe 200 million, be 6 million, something of that nature. But my thing is, look at all the havoc. Look at all the fine details. He's getting somebody to help him with the paperwork from the NFLPA, from my understanding. But he just, I don't know what makes him think that saving that little bit of money, he's probably losing money because he's not negotiating his contract right. It's easier once you get, like when he was drafted, it was no big deal because when you're drafted at a certain number, you just look at what the number was last year. You equate that number into this year's salary cap, and you're slotted in. If I'm drafted number 19, what was it last year? What's this year's cap number? We kind of slot it that way. Bada bing, bada boom. But when you're a free agent like this, and you are dealing with much more money, those contracts are all different. Josh Allen's contract is not the same as Russell Wilson's contract, okay? He wants a contract like a I don't know what's up with this light, guys. I think it may be something with my computer. Either way, so his contract may not be like Josh Allen's or Russell Wilson's. It's not going to be like Deshaun Watson's contract, okay? Other contracts by quarterbacks have been signed since the Deshaun Watson contract. Since 2018, 4 or 5 other contracts, including Tom Brady, has signed another contract since Kirk Cousins fully guaranteed 2-year contract, or 3-year, I think. So he has to have a realistic look at this, look at his injury history, look at things through their eyes, and just be honest about it. Again, I hope everything works out. But I do think he's going to not end up playing for the Ravens. I think the Ravens will have plenty of opportunity to replace him at the quarterback position because they're going to get a first-round pick from somebody, and it's probably somebody that's going to be really high in the draft, my guess would be. And maybe he goes to Atlanta. I just mentioned the Indianapolis Colts. They've got the 4th pick overall. They went with older quarterbacks. That has not worked out. The Colts have Shane Steichen. Now, remember, Shane Steichen is the former offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. I can see that type, and I've been talking about this all week. I can see that type of offense working with a Lamar Jackson, except Lamar's going to be a lot more money than Hurts. They do need some skilled players. They do have a good offensive line. They're decent at the tight end position. They probably need another receiver, probably two with that Colt team. I know that the Falcons. There's Kareem. He came up right up the first time. Good deal. I know that they have the cap money and they have the personnel. So those are two teams, particularly off the top of my head, that I think that Jackson would be a good fit per se. I don't think a team. Let's see. Like I said, this story just broke later on this afternoon. I'm not really sure who else would be there, but anyways, we'll see how this thing works out. Yeah, Kareem, if you want to come back on, I can bring you on now, friend. There, from work now. Well, he came on, then his thing went off there. I don't know what. Maybe it's some kind of lighting. But anyways, I'm just glad the guys got it working right. That is awesome. But anywho, oh, there he is. Now he's came in on. Okay, there you go. Awesome. So now I'm going to bring in my friend here. Speaking. So that's my take on the Colts. I don't know if they're going to bring in Lamar Jackson or not. I'm going to bring in a friend of mine from work here, Kareem Blackston. Hey, man, how's it going? Can you hear me? Oh, now, let's see. Hold on. I'll make sure I didn't remove it. He's having some technical issues here. Can you hear me, Kareem?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Good deal. Good deal, man. Good deal. Yeah, I was just talking about that breaking news this afternoon that Lamar Jackson, he's got this non-NFL what do you call it? This you have to get people registered to be an agent with the league to represent you. And he's got this guy asking teams and stuff. They put out this memo and stuff. I kind of feel sorry for him, but I'm like, dude, just pay the 3%, man, and get an agent. If you want to represent yourself, call him yourself. So this is Kareem Blackstone. Now, you work down at what is it, Mountain Juliet Children's clinic there. What is that? What is your title? Is it phlebotomist? Or is it lab tech, man? I think he can't hear me. I think he's kind of. Can you hear me, man? Let's see. Yeah, sometimes I have this problem with this StreamYard, but it is what it is. Can you hear me, Chief? Yeah, I think he's trying to get situated. But just let me know whenever you can hear me. Can you hear me? So Lamar should ask other players in and out of the league. Ask other players around the league. He's going to try to come back in, guys. Every player needs legal counsel they can trust. Yeah. And you know, the PA's helping him out. They're trying to help him out, Pickles. It's not like he's all out this by himself. He seems like he's being a little stubborn. Hey, look, man, I wouldn't be an agent. I was saying this the other day. You have to, you know, a lot of these agents, you prefer a person to have a legal background to look over your contract. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo there. It's I mean, the fine print. Are you leaving something out? Don't do. I mean, you can go incentive based, but don't be too incentive based. How much guaranteed money? All that stuff. I mean, it is in depth and in detail. A lot of guys. There's a lot of stipulation there. There's a lot of things that a player cannot do. I remember being Roethlisberger. He ended up Pickles riding a motorcycle without a helmet on. You know, I mean, the contracts. A lot of the players, especially quarterbacks and stuff, they're not allowed to do this certain things. I mean, they can make their contract void, skiing, water skiing, and everything. So it's a lot of little stuff like that. You got to pay attention. That's common sense stuff, right? But I'm going to see if Kareem can come back in here. Let's see. Well, I guess he's going to try to. He hasn't sent me an email yet. But guess he's trying to get back on his computer. I'll wait for him to pop back in here. And he says there is a good union reps for the players. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of help there for him. He needs to reach out and get it. You know, and I think he's going to be fine. Quite frankly, he should have took that 3 years, 133 guaranteed, if you ask me. He'd be 28 towards the end. He can go back when the average salary for quarterbacks per se, when the average salary for quarterbacks are going to go up. I mean, the cap to next year for the league is going to be like 255, man. Let's see. Boy, I hope Kareem can make it back on. He is a. We do have a good time talking about the game, but I'm usually in a hurry. Let's see. Hey, man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, good. Like those commercials, the Verizon commercials back in the day.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask. So what is your title up there? Is it phlebotomist?
Lab tech.
Lab tech.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That would be my next guess. Now, so you're out of. You said you was out of Delaware.
Yeah.
What town of Delaware?
Newcastle.
Newcastle. Okay.
About 25 minutes outside of Philly.
How much?
25 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you see Joe Flacco play in college?
No, I did not. Was not a University of Delaware fan.
I'm just messing. So how long have you been in Middle Tennessee?
About 6 years, almost 6 years now.
Oh, okay. So what brought y'all down here, man? Family?
Well, we lived in North Carolina for about 11 years.
Yeah.
And my wife got a job at Vanderbilt, and we ended up moving here.
Yeah. It's a lot nicer down here, isn't it?
Yeah. North Carolina's nice too.
Yeah. Hey, man, and so now you was telling me at work the other day or earlier today. So you didn't play football, but you played basketball in high school?
Yeah, basketball and baseball.
And baseball. Nice. What position did you play in baseball?
First and pitch.
I figured you'd say first. How tall are you, man? You're pretty big.
About 6'4".
6'4". Yeah. I figured you was first baseman. You're a good target there. You're a good target. When we always talk football, I was thinking, man, maybe he played. Shoot, he might have. You didn't like to get hit?
No, just the weight gain came after high school.
I hear you. Hey, man, it happens, brother. It happens. Now, so, we talk a lot of the Titans. I was just talking about the Colts before you came on. This whole thing with Lamar Jackson, there's a report out of Pro Football Talk that he does not want to. Everything is done with the Ravens. The Colts, people have been throwing the Colts around for maybe picking up a Lamar Jackson. They've got the 4 pick. I don't know. Plus, he has a person that's talking to the teams, but they're not certified with the league. So I don't know how that thing's going to play out. Maybe Atlanta picks him up. Maybe the Colts here and this AFC South division pick him up. But, we talk about the Titans just about every day, man. And you seem to be on top of a lot of this stuff too. Like I'm fascinated with it, They're one of the more interesting teams in the league. I mean, the national media is talking about the Titans because Vrabel's very popular in national circles. I mean, coach of the year, year before last, teams at the 1 seed. But it looks like they're the quietest team in this off season that I've ever seen. The team that was in contention this couple of years ago. It's like they don't know what to make the decision to either try rebuild or reload or readjust. They're just kind of sitting put. What is your thoughts on this off season with the Titans, man?
Well, part of me says typical Titans, they're being cheap.
Yeah.
A la AJ Brown situation.
Yeah.
Also, they might be being very careful.
Yeah.
Because they've been through this big free agent, big name type of situation for the past few years, and they just don't want to stick their feet in the water this time on that. So I think they're being very careful, and also there's not a lot of top-notch free agents out there either.
Yeah,
so we have to take that in consideration. So you don't want to spend a lot of money on a name or a guy that's just not worth the money. and get stuck with them for 4 years.
Yeah. Now, towards the end of the season, Pro Football Focus, we talked about this before, but I like to let the audience know. They had dead last in offensive line. I mean, just bottom of the barrel, 32nd. Obviously, they had a lot of injuries. Left tackle's gone. They end up cutting him. And I was looking. So this website now, there's so much information out there nowadays. It's almost too much information. But this website, Spot Track, man, Tennessee has the lowest amount of money spent on the offensive line. Think about it. One play caused Tennessee to lose the division. It was that sack strip fumble by Dobbs in the Carolina game. Remember that? Because the left tackle gets beat, man. So I'm looking at that. We're looking at all the injuries. They're supposedly going to they're going to replace 4 offensive linemen. Ben Jones, Taylor Lewan, some other guy named Dennis Daly. Remember him?
Yeah.
And so they're spending $15 million as of right now, according to Spot Track, on the offense. Now, mind you, Seattle's got $19 million invested. Seattle did draft a really good left tackle. I want to say they drafted 2 tackles last year in the draft, Charles Cross and some other guy. They kind of hit on their tackle. So I'm not saying that they can't make the playoffs. You're right. Maybe they what's this guy's name? I want to say his name is Dunskill or something. Daniel Brunskill, right guard. He started 2 games for the 49ers last year. Now Ryan Carthon, he knows who this guy is. He was an assistant GM there, but he's 2 years, $5 million. I mean, he's like pretty bleeping cheap. And then they've got this guy. Who is this other guy here? Let me make sure I got him right. Andre Dillard. He's a backup left tackle out of Philadelphia. And then that's it. I mean, then it's a bunch of defensive guys I've never heard of. Now, are you concerned that they're trying to tank without saying they're tanking? They've got about $7 million in cap space.
Well, I mean, tanking, I wouldn't say they're trying to tank. Simple fact, the defense is too good.
Yeah.
Also, you don't want to put your quarterback in harm's way where you might get a reputation where they're not taking care of their players or not putting the best product on the field.
Yeah.
So, and I can't see, like I said, I can't see Vrabel necessarily tanking. Like I said, I just think it's more frugal spending. Like we talked about before, you said that the cap space that they're going to have next year is basically probably when they're going to spend some money.
So, do you think that they keep Tannehill after next year? His contract is void.
Yeah, I don't think Tannehill or Henry's going to be here by at the end of next year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And possibly Henry or Byard might be gone by draft time at the end of the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know why they have not made any moves on those players immediately. Now, Mel Kiper, they draft 11th. They need a left tackle like nobody's business. But Mel Kiper, his latest mock draft, after all these trades the trade with Carolina, he has the Titans taking defensive end out of Texas Tech, this Tyree Wilson. Now, Peter Skonorski, this is his name, offensive line out of Northwestern. Mel Kiper has him going 10th to the Eagles. The Eagles are getting long in the tooth on the offensive line. And then he has 9th, the Bears. The Bears didn't go offensive. They need offensive tackle. They spent a lot of money on the linebackers and stuff. Paris Johnson, that's the guy that I've been seeing coming up from Ohio State when all the Tennessee Titans left tackle. So he has, like I said, a defensive end at 11 going to Titans, and 13, Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Now, of course, Georgia players, I've talked about this before in the program. We talk, you have to look at them with a fine-tooth comb because of Jalen Carter situation and the other offensive tackle that they drafted, I want to say back in 2020, who's totally out of the league right now. He's one of the worst busts in history. That was John Robertson's doing there.
Yeah.
So what do you think if they end up not getting a left tackle, man, in this draft? I mean, maybe they take one in the later rounds. I mean, couldn't you imagine Andre Dillard being their starting left tackle?
I think they're going to take an offensive tackle in the first round.
Yeah.
Or a wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what would you prefer they take in that first round if you're the general manager, man?
Probably the offensive tackle. I would take the tackle. I don't think there may be one or two players which probably won't be there by the time they pick as far as the wide receiver is concerned that I would take over an offensive tackle. Yeah. And one of them is a slot, so I wouldn't take him either. So
yeah. And just for a reminder for the audience, now the Tennessee, by the way, we are 5 weeks. Today's Thursday, man. 5 weeks away from the draft. Time flies, brother. I'll tell you, it flies. Now, so the Titans got the 11th pick, the 41st in the second round. They've got the 72nd in the third round. They do not have a 4th round pick. I guess that was one of their trades. I think that was the trade they did with Julio Jones. I want to say.
I think that might be what's the tackle last year, left tackle last year?
Lawan?
No, the one that replaced Lawan. Oh,
hold on, let me look and see. Actually, I have their depth chart here.
I forgot his name.
We'll find it. We'll find it here.
I don't know if that might have been a 5th round pick that they gave up for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought on a guy here the other day. Richard, I went to high school with, and he works at Cumulus. Man, he knows all these guys. I mean, he knows the bench players. I've got their depth chart here. Here we go. Okay, now as of today, that's the defensive starters. All right, they've got left tackle. If the season started today, Andre Dillard would be the left tackle. His backup will be some guy named Andrew Ruperkritz. You ever heard of that guy? Daniel Brunskill. Now, he's going to be the left guard for Tennessee. Zach Johnson's going to be his backup. Aaron Brewer. Was that who you were thinking about?
No, he's a center. He's the guard / center.
Yeah, he's going to be listed as center. Dylan Ruiz, Radnudes, he's going to be the right guard, and the right tackle is going to get some guy named Nicholas Pruitt Freary. Does that ring a bell to you?
No, it was he just got signed. He got signed to
Dennis Daly.
Dennis Daly, that's who it was.
Yeah. He signed elsewhere. So I mean, they just don't.
Yeah, they gave up a 5th round pick for him. I think 5th or 4th round pick for him.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad fill-in actually at times. No movement on trading Henry either. Yeah, Pickles is saying nothing about. Yeah, they haven't. There's nothing came up about Tannehill. Nothing about him. Do you think now? Some of the national people are saying this. Tennessee would be one of those teams, wildcard teams, to trade for Lamar Jackson. Could you see that happening here?
I can't see Baltimore trading him to Tennessee.
It's kind of like that. Even though we're technically not in that division, man.
Yeah,
that's still kind of a rivalry thing,
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
Yeah. And Pickles thinks, see, Ben Jones, Pickles likes Ben Jones too. Ben Jones was long in the tooth. Now, he felt a physical. He had concussions towards the end. I think he was like 33, 34. Now, some of these guys in their mid-30s are still playing well. Jason Kels, 35 years old. That's Travis Kelce's brother from Kansas City, the center for the Eagles. He signed a 1-year, $14 million deal with the Eagles. He's 35, man.
Yeah, actually, I wanted him for the Titans.
You think? Yeah, I guess he could still. Well, he's apparently a Hall of Famer from everything I'm reading.
I mean, the only reason why they let Ben Jones go is because of the concussion issue.
Yeah. And I made these notes. We've talked about this. I like to reiterate it to the audience here. The Titans can save $24 million if they wake up in the morning, the powers to be in air quotes, right? If they wanted to cut Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and Kevin Byard, they could save $30 million. And
but who do you sign?
24 million. I'm sorry. Byard will be 30 in August. He's a $19 million cap hit, man. He's already been asked to take a pay cut. Somebody will have to take on $13 million of his cap. That $6 million is pushed over from his signing bonus. What do you think about Kevin Byard situation?
Like I said, I think he might be trade bait as far as the draft is concerned. And there's a reason why they asked him to take a pay cut. There might be a reason behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
that age, man, and
and if they cut him, I mean, who do you sign? There's nobody out there right now.
Well, there's a guy named Taylor Rapp from the Rams. He's a vet. He's not Kevin Byard. He's not Kevin Byard. And you've mentioned receivers. You're right about that. I was looking. Here we go. This is their receiving core right now. This team is supposedly going to compete for the South. Wide receivers, Trayvon Burks. This is the starters. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, Cal Phillips. He's a second-year guy. Tight end, Aquanu. Now, I like this Aquanu here, but your backups at receivers are Racy McMath, Reggie Robertson Jr. I don't even know who that is. Is that the guy they signed from Louisville a few years ago?
Reggie Robertson, you talking about?
Yeah.
He is from MSU. He was an undrafted free agent last year. He's a fast wide receiver. He's very speedy. I was hoping to see him during preseason, but he never got a chance to get on the field. I believe.
And you said you like Racy McMath.
Like Racy and Robertson. I think as far as downfield threat, they would be good choices if they get a shot of doing so.
Yeah, man. I do think Burks is a good player. Kenny's a little bit of an overachiever there. They brought him back on the cheap. Yeah, Cal Phillips played last year too. They probably need to add another player. I would like to see him get an underneath slot guy if they can help it. I was looking at some of the available free agents, man. There's quite a few interesting players out there. I don't know if you heard today that who was it? Odell Beckham may go to the Jets.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, Kyle Phillips, I believe, can take the slot position.
Okay.
If he stays healthy. They need a downfield threat. They need an alpha dog. They need an alpha dog.
Here's who's available now. DJ Shark. He's a talented guy, but he's missed a lot of games last couple of years, and we don't need another Corey Davis here. So you think they need a downfield guy? I was thinking now Jalen Guyton. Remember Jalen Guyton played for the LA Chargers. They could probably get him for the cheap. He would be a good downfield guy. I think they need a slot guy. I would love to get a Jarvis Landry. If you're saying Cal Phillips can play the slot?
Yeah, I think he can play the slot. There's also a couple guys in the draft that can play the slot. One from Ohio State, I believe, but I think he might go early first round, maybe middle of the pack. He's not a speed guy.
Yeah.
But I think if they're keeping Henry, they need they need to back the defense up a little bit. So they need a downfield guy.
You would like for them to get another veteran in there. I mean, I just read these guys. None of these guys have been on the roster more than 3 or 4 years. Remember Robert Woods? They lost him in free agency. They cut him. He was a $12 million hit. He's now a Houston Texan. Now, he was coming back from a major injury anyways last year. But they need some kind of veteran presence at receiver just to help the other guys calm down and get lined up right, you know?
I agree. I think they're being patient, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe because you're going to have some cuts. And like you said, there's still some wide receivers out there that they can get on a cheap. And then after the draft, those guys that you're talking about might be a little cheaper.
That's true. And, you know, I think his name is Quentin Johnson. I was watching some of his highlights today. Wide receiver out of TCU. Man, him and this guy named Jordan Addison. Addison came over from, he was a transfer from Pittsburgh to USC. Addison didn't have the 40 time, but Addison was considered a really highly regarded wide receiver. But this guy, Johnson, I mean, he's 6'4", he can catch the ball in traffic. I could see why they've got him rated now as a top wide receiver. Now, this may change. You know, it's all about the opinions of your scouts, not everybody else's scouts. But, yeah, he's good, man. He's a really good receiver. I don't know. Like, I would love, by the way, Jonah Williams, Orlando Brown, big free agent from Kansas City. Remember, he signed with Cincinnati. If Tennessee can work out something with Cincinnati and perhaps maybe trade for a Jonah Williams, then I wouldn't be so bummed out if they didn't take a tackle in that 11th spot. It would be nice to see him get a receiver with that 11th. Just food for thought.
Yeah. Or they can trade back a little bit, and like I said, Byard, I think he's available right now. I can't see them asking him for a pay cut. I can't see them necessarily keeping him.
Yeah.
But who knows with Tennessee right now? Because honestly, as far as, like you said, the signings, I have no idea where they're going at this point.
Yeah.
So anything is on the table pretty much.
What would you prefer they do? If you're the guy in charge, owner says, do whatever you want to do, man. Do whatever you want to do.
I mean, if I can trade Byard, possibly, I would do so.
Yeah.
Depends on what I'm getting for him. Maybe a second round pick.
Yeah. Yeah. He's Pro Bowl level, man.
Right.
He may be better than Jesse Bates, who was the top guy who signed with Atlanta.
Right.
You know, he's probably got 3 or 4 years left in him.
Right. So, yeah, if they can get a second round pick, I would do so. I'll still draft a tackle first round, and then maybe second round I'll look for wide receiver.
Okay.
Or a corner.
What about first round? Tackle first round?
Tackle first round.
Second round. Okay. Yeah.
Or corner wide receiver second round.
Yeah, you love these corners, man. Yeah.
They need corners.
Well, Tennessee's been thrown on my whole life, man. The whole time they've been the Titans, they've been thrown on.
I know.
They were pretty good when they had Samari Rolle 20 years ago.
Yeah.
They even threw on Pac-Man.
I would be honest with you, the pass defense was pretty good beginning of the season when everyone's healthy because of the pass rush.
Yeah. That's one thing they're not lacking, man. I don't know why Mel Kiper's got them taking this Tyree Wilson guy, but that's defensive-minded head coach, man. That's my beef.
Mel Kiper wants you to keep talking. I mean, that's basically what he does when he comes up with these things. He wants people to talk about it. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Now he's right about some things. He's missed big on other things. I remember one time he said Mike Williams from USC was going to be a lockdown Hall of Famer. Can't miss. Man, he was a total bust. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
About 15 years ago. Todd.
Yeah. He has, like you said, he has a lot of misses. Yeah. I mean,
now he was right about Josh Allen, though. You know.
Yeah. I mean, the draft in total is a crapshoot. I mean, you can always look at a can't miss and like Ryan Leaf.
Yeah. Pickle says Albert Hainsworth made some corners look good. The Titans played fair at times at corner. They didn't always get thrown on, but it seemed like when they had Jim Schwartz or Greg Williams blitzed too much. Jim Schwartz didn't blitz enough. Either way, Tennessee give up big passing plays. You know, they're just one of those teams. Like I said, the most consistent guy was Samari Rowe. I know Pac-Man, he made some plays. He was a good tackler. He was a good tackler for his size, man. Really good tackler, but he wasn't like a lockdown Sauce Gardner, Revis type of guy. Now, would you keep Tannehill and Henry, or would you go in another direction with those? Because those are big cap hits, man. Or you think that maybe just beat the lineup and maybe you can still win with this group?
I mean, at this point, I can't see them letting Henry or Tannehill go because I believe they have too much respect for them. If they wanted them to let them go, they would have let them go beginning of free agency so they can get their money and go with a team that they would want to. So they have too much respect for them for that.
Would you would have made that move though if you was a GM?
Early on, probably yes. Not necessarily Tannehill, but definitely him.
Yeah. Tannehill. It's just the money with him, man. I mean, that's part of, I think, is the reason why that they got rid of Robertson. I don't know what he was thinking, wanting to pay him. I mean, I understand everybody needs a quarterback. You got the market. I'm so sick and tired of hearing the market this and the market that. Well, the market is getting teams killed. You can't pay a guy big money like that when he's an average. This guy was a receiver turned quarterback. His numbers were really good with Tennessee. Remember, they got the AFC Championship game when his cap hit was $7 million. I think they could have got it negotiated down to 20. It's just that there's something about that $30 million. Once you go over that 12.6%. Now, Patrick Mahomes beat that. It's up to 15 now. He's an all-world generational talent. See, if he could have got that number down, they probably wouldn't have got rid of A.J. Brown, and they probably would have been able to keep Saffold. And this team is division winners. I don't know if they get back to the Super Bowl. Probably not. But at least they're still in the playoffs. It's just that tells you how crucial that contract is in that position, Yeah. But Tannehill, me personally, like I told you, and I'll tell you, I'd have probably just moved off both of them. Try to work out something with Dobbs, who's now with the Cleveland Browns, and let him come in here and compete. And then if he's great, great. If he's not, I'm aggressive next year, and I'm going after another quarterback. But yeah, with this offensive line, Tannehill will be injured again, and Henry's not going to have a hole to run through.
Yeah.
And Pickle says they do have a dome in 2026. Yeah, they'll have they're fifth, by the way. They're fifth in salary cap next year. Just check this out for the audience. This is crazy talk right here. This is according to Spot Track. 1 year from now. The Bears, I don't know how the Bears set this up. Ryan Poles is supposed to be a really smart guy. 34 years old, youngest general manager in the league. The Bears will have $208 million in cap space next year. They still got 37 left over this year. Houston's second. Houston's going to be cooking with gas. They're in our division down here. The Patriots will have 144. Remember, the Giants will have 136. I guess they figured out something with Daniel Jones. Then you got Tennessee, $130 million, man, fifth in cap room. Tannehill's years are void next year, and so is Henry. Probably won't be back next year, not unless they bring him on a extreme discount. So, I mean, yeah, you can play for next year. If you're 8-8, or if you're 9-8, 9-7 next year, and you got Tannehill here. But what about playing a guy like a Trevor Lawrence and that Jacksonville team? They're only going to be better and better, man.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think Chicago, like you mentioned, Chicago, that might be a Henry destination.
Yeah. I was hoping they'd give us something down here for it. That's probably wishful thinking, man.
Yeah, because I looked at their draft. I think they have 2 1s and 2 2s or something like that.
Yeah.
So
the Carolina thing, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a possible destination. As far as Jacksonville is concerned, I mean, either way, Tennessee is going to be looking up whether they keep Tannehill, don't keep Tannehill, because of they're on the incline. They have their quarterback. Defense isn't bad. They have wide receivers.
Yeah.
But with Tannehill, you got a shot.
Yeah. He's only 35? He'll be 35 next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point, maybe they can talk him into coming for a salary that is reasonable, 18 to 20, throw some incentives. Man, it's so cheap. You move here from Delaware. I mean, it's expensive as all get out up there, right?
Nashville's catching up with everyone.
Really? Man.
Yeah.
They are doing a lot of rebuilding.
It's not as expensive. Yeah, Nashville, very expensive now. Delaware at the time, Delaware is probably a lot more expensive than here. But we've been away from Delaware for about 15, 16 years now. So
yeah. What about what part of Carolina? Charlotte?
Raleigh.
Was that cheaper than Nashville?
Yeah, just a little.
Oh, okay. Everywhere's picking up. The South is growing too fast, man. So that can't be a bargaining chip no more, huh?
Yeah, those are two prime destinations for, I guess, Californians and Floridians.
Yeah, or New York.
Yeah, New York.
Yeah. With I was saying that maybe that the whole no state income tax and all that. Yeah, I was watching this show called Live Patrol, man. Used to be Live PD. I don't know if you remember Live PD on A&E.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And so they changed the name and everything, and then there's some kind of issue, I don't know. And they moved it to Reels TV, and it's called Live Patrol now. Dan Abrams is still hosting it. And I was watching this guy in Florida. He called the police because he got bit by an alligator in his driveway, man. And it was an 8-foot alligator underneath his car. This was in Tampa. Daytona Beach area. I didn't think they had alligators in that area. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be a crazy sight to see an alligator underneath your car.
Yeah, underneath your car. He was just going outside to get something, some mail or something, So I don't know. Maybe Florida's not all that. I was looking at Florida, maybe moving down there. But we've had a mild winter, this year. Hadn't been too bad. But they've got that cost of living. But I keep reading it. More people moving down there. Maybe it ain't going to be so nice, So
yeah.
So you're saying mainly this team just kind of keep Tannehill, probably do something with Henry. I think they can win a Super Bowl with Mike Vrabel. They just need a little bit more creativity. And you're right, man. I didn't realize how bad this team receiving core is. Golly. They probably need to add 2 receivers to this staff, man.
Now, who would you like as far as the first round of draft?
They definitely got to go tackle. I would love to get Paris Johnson. I would definitely like the guy from Northwestern, but I couldn't imagine Chicago letting a hometown guy like that get out. But we'll see. I would definitely like that. Now, I will say this. was also listening to Mel Kiper and what's the other guy's name? Chad McShay. They're real high on this Bijan Robertson guy out of Texas. This running back supposed to be all world. He's kind of like Zeke Elliott hype, coming out. I was thinking, if Tennessee could get another left tackle, maybe they could get this guy. But then again, I didn't realize how bad they are at receiver though. But he would be nice. He's such an impact player with that 4.4 speed in that build. You know what I'm talking about, Bijan Robertson?
Yeah.
Block, he can run, catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a thinner, quicker Ricky Williams. He comes out of Texas. Tennessee loves to run the ball, be physical. He would fit right in with Tennessee, but man, that only way I'd be okay with them doing that if they made a move and got a left tackle, if they sign one of these free agent receivers, then do that. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on a guy like Bijan Robertson, because he's listed as one of the better overall athletes, better overall players draft-wise at 11?
If not 11, no. I wouldn't take a running back that high.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my traditional thinking. Don't do that with running backs.
Right. So,
yeah.
But and they drafted a running back last year in the 3rd, 4th round, so I can't see them doing that.
Yeah, and he's just not. You like that Michigan guy, man?
He's okay. I haven't seen enough of him to make a decision on him, but he seems okay. He holds on to the ball, decent runner. He's not Henry, no, but no one's Henry.
John Haskins.
Yeah.
And some guy named Julius Chester. You ever heard of Julius Chester?
Chestnut?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him too.
Oh, okay. See, that's the 3rd string back, man. He's still on the roster, by the way.
Yeah, he played a little last year.
Pickles says fresh water. Yeah, you got to get close to salt water in Florida, man. Titans must get a left tackle in the first 2 rounds. That would be nice. Get the right. And that's another thing. Now, the 49ers, they had McClinchy. He was a right tackle. But maybe Rand Carthon saw something that we don't know. He probably didn't think he was worth it.
Well, I think Vrabel's making all the decisions.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, when these guys go through the draft, Vrabel is working these guys out personally. So he knows these guys, a lot of them, since he's been coached.
Yeah, the guys are really good. And maybe these 2 pickups are going to be really good. Now, mind you, nobody expected Seattle to do anything last year. And I want to say that Seattle had 2 rookie tackles. They had a right and a left. I know Charles Cross was their left tackle. He was a higher draft pick. And then they turned around and got that running back out of Michigan State last year. He was a really good player. I remember him at Michigan State. His name is slipping my mind. But this guy was really good in college. He turned out to be all that. He got hurt early, but when he came back, he was all that with Seattle. And they made the playoffs last year with Geno Smith. So they also was one of those teams that did not spend a lot of money on the offensive line. So it's not – I can't say it's the end of the world not having an offensive line. I just look at teams like Philadelphia, $65 million spent on the offensive line. They went all the way to the Super Bowl with a quarterback that I wasn't sure is going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, man.
Well, he almost made MVP.
Almost got MVP.
Yeah.
I watched the play where it happened, man. I could tell he got up gingerly. It was that Bears game. It was late in the season. My guy, Jamie, big Philly sports guy, he was on there at the game, on the road game. And I thought, yeah, there's something's up with Hurts. Finishes the game, has that shoulder. And then look at him. They had the league at halftime at the Super Bowl. 10-point lead, one of the second team in history to lose a double-digit lead in the Super Bowl. at halftime. The first one was obviously Atlanta against the Patriots. You know, the guy would have won MVP. He would have won Super Bowl MVP. Mainly, it was that offensive line. It was a good scheme. And, of course, A.J. Brown. Go figure. They're used to the last piece. My whole thing about receivers, I don't have nothing against receivers. I just think they're the last piece. Don't make them the first piece because they got to be able to run their route, right?
True.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is as far as the Tennessee Titans are with receivers is the fact that you have Derrick Henry. You're run centric. So you have to back the defense up so he's allowed holes. And the Titans have done a bad job of doing that the past 2 years.
Yeah, and I just hope that the offense does evolve and it stays stagnant because he's a defensive-minded head coach. I hope that doesn't hold back Vrabel, you know, because he seems like a kind of guy you can win he really does, man. And he's the best coach I think he's better than Fisher. He's better than any coach this team has ever had. He's probably better than any coach that has ever coached the Oilers. Wouldn't you say?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 84. He's coached in 84 games. And I read the stat the other day. The Titans were in the playoff hunt in all 84 games. Remember, it come down to the last game last year.
Yeah.
Saturday night game. So, I mean, the guy's a well of a coach, but you don't want to give him too much power. And like you said, I'm a little leery about that, man. It's and maybe they'll do something big draft night, man. I'm sitting here going online 5 weeks on I'm going on another show on draft night, and I'm just sitting here getting my notes together. Boom, A.J. Brown's traded. What the bleep?
Yeah, let's hope
that was a bad idea
better
immediately when that happened?
Let's hope. I thought that I didn't want them to sign A.J. Brown to a long-term deal because I didn't trust his knees.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of on the fence about it at the time. I was thinking maybe Burks will be good, you know?
Right. Now, I thought they would have gotten more for A.J. Brown than what they did.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just a first-round pick. I went back and checked it. You look at what Tyreek Hill got. You look what Devontae Adams got. The fact that A.J. Brown was already a Pro Bowl level guy. Maybe they could have got another third round this year, a conditional fourth round, something else more than a first round pick. Now, Burks may be great. I mean, he showed some signs there towards the end. I thought he was going to have weight issues. There was I think he had asthma or something. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yeah.
But he got past all that. I mean, he did get a concussion in that Eagles game. But that was a heck of a catch, though.
Yeah, that was a bad hit, that Eagles game.
Yeah. Great catch, though. He held on to it.
Yeah. That's a plus. But he held on to it. That's what counts.
Yeah. So, hey, man, appreciate you coming on. Maybe I'll bring you back on after the draft. We can either vent or we can sing the praises.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Kareem. All right, buddy.
All right. Take it
tomorrow,
easy.
man. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for watching the program tonight. Tomorrow, I'll have Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez. I'll ask him about Elijah Moore getting traded to the Jets, how that's going to play out. Odell Beckham, by the way. There's a rumor Odell Beckham's going to sign with the Jets. Also, that was one of Aaron Rodgers' wish lists. So I'm going to ask him about that. Got a few more questions. Make sure and tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, here on Sports Scope.